Hi, this is tennis player Mariana Dragic, and you're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest sports analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!
Von Allen Sports.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? All right. So, kind of a weird weekend. A lot of the matchups are a little strange. Not exactly excited about some of them, but there are some that are actually pretty good. I think the Giants-Packers, if the Giants can play decent, I think that Giants-Packers game could be interesting. Of course, and we'll focus on the Lions-Patriots game quite a bit, and the Falcons and Bucs. But there are a few good ones. But a lot of these, I think, are just easy wins for a lot of teams. I'm very interested in the Cowboys-Rams, which I'd like to talk about a little bit later. The Sunday night game looks kind of cool. Bengals-Ravens, that could be interesting. The Monday Night Football's game, I actually like that game. I like the Raiders and Chiefs. I know the Raiders are 1-3, but I actually like that game. I think that'll be fun. AFC West divisional matchup with Raiders and Chiefs. The Chiefs, just like any other team, okay, they're a great. I mean, any other great team, they're a great team, but when it comes to division, that is a different ball game. So we know in the past that the Raiders have been able to get a win here and there off of the Chiefs, even if they're not very good. So I do think that would be pretty interesting. Chiefs coming off of their big win over Tampa Bay last week. Their offense seems to be starting to explore more areas and things. So I actually think that'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to that one. But it's not the matchups are not as awesome as they were last week. Let's just be honest. So. Okay. Let's see who here got there first tonight. Tiffany. Biden Blow was first, actually. Israel, what's up? Gord King, hello. Elf of Courage, John Thomas Chavez, Michael Swearingen, Sierra Chubbs, used to be called Sissy Chubbs. Bill Casby, welcome. Bill Casby, Chiefs fan, right there, actually. So another Chiefs fan. Salami Pizza. Let's see here. Okay, there's more than 12 of you in the chat. Why does it say there's? I don't understand the YouTube numbers. They make no sense. Like the other night, it said we had like 45, 50 average viewers, but after the show was over, then it gives me the total. It said we were averaging 70 to 75. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. Nefertiti, of course, welcome. Thank you. She will be on starting next week. She'll be back. So she told me. Let's see. Thomas Allen, welcome. Tyree Vaughn, what's up, Tyree? Okay. So first thing I want to talk about is no, it's not last night. Thursday night's game. Okay. So a lot of people are ragging on Russell Wilson, and I get it. I understand. But the thing is that I've been, and I'll admit it, okay? I've been partial to Russell Wilson. And the reason is because he's my best pick I've ever had, actually. So, in my opinion, and I'll get to that in just a second. Let me check something. You say you're having a problem with super stickers? Milena, do you have a problem with super stickers?
Oh, I would gladly check those.
Yeah, check that real quick. I may have not put monetization on. That might have done it. Okay. Check that again, Elf of Courage, and see if that works. You guys went nuts on that the other night. That was crazy, man. That was so awesome. Um, but it might take a minute for the system to upload it to figure itself out there. But okay, so yeah, Milena's works, so it should be back on now. Okay. When I say Russell Wilson is one of my best picks, this goes back to pre Von Allen Sports. But I used to have a blog I did, and at first it was for MySpace, and then it kind of switched to Facebook and a few other places. I used to write on NFL. Um, I used to write like on NFL networks. Or the NFL website used to have um, like a comment section there, and I used to write stuff there too. But they took it down for whatever reason. So give me just one moment, guys. Okay, and we're back. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, these are working. So yeah, Nefertiti. So now it's working. Everything's good. So Nefertiti sends a $2 super sticker to test it. Nightwalker, member for 23 months, still has the general, admiral and general membership level. And Nightwalker, I just want to tell you, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for sticking through it, especially this off season when there wasn't much content happening. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So he posts, this works. So he was testing that. Elf of Courage sends a $2 super chat. And let's add that here real quick. It says, it's me. It's a me, Chris Pratt. Okay, cool. So we just found out that Elf of Courage is now Chris Pratt. That's cool. All right. Okay. Now, let's just start over before everything went all weird. Okay? So, Thursday night's game. All right? Thursday night's game was a disaster. Thursday night's game was some of the worst football I've ever seen in my life. Okay? It's set offensive football back 30 years. No, more like 40 years, I'd say. It was painful to watch. I saw a meme. Somebody posted a meme that said we should all get free Amazon Prime memberships for a few months just for watching that, right? So, no, it was not good defense. Okay, it was not good defense. These offenses were making unforced errors. Now, unforced errors is a tennis term, and it just means that you're doing stupid crap that had nothing to do with the opponent. It was all your fault. And these offenses were doing that without the defense really having to contribute, or the defense actually having to make a lot happen. So it was just really bad football all the way around. And there's a reason for that. And I'll tell you why. Well, why I think it is. So we had some new people joining, so that worked out actually. We gave 2 people time to come on. Brian Magnum, what's up, man? Welcome. Let's see here. Jason never sleeps. Welcome, Jason. Okay. Gord King, a fellow monarch. The Gord King sends a $2 super chat and says Indianapolis and Denver was offensive because it wasn't offensive. I'm going to read that again. Indianapolis and Denver was offensive because it wasn't offensive. Exactly. It was. I remember at one point, Milena just quit and started just working on something else. And I just said, this is the worst. It was quiet for like half an hour. I didn't say anything. And normally I'm talking to the TV. And I just turned around and said, this is the most disgusting, horrible football game I've ever seen. It looks so unprofessional. It looks so pathetic, inept. Honestly, it looked like a week 1 of the preseason game, that kind of thing where they're just kind of like trying to figure each other out. It was just bad all the way around. Dave Wilhauer, what's up, man? Sends a $5 super chat. He says Russell Wilson is awful. If he can't run, he has no impact. Those picks were bad. He is playing very bad, Dave. Yeah, it's absolutely true. And normally people would expect me to defend Russell. You guys know that I've been a Russell fan for a while. So here's what the deal is. I'm going to start back to where I was earlier. I have a special like I like seeing Russell do well. It makes me feel kind of good, feed your ego a little bit, kind of thing. But I picked him back when the draft and all the the suck for luck and all that was happening. And so in these blogs and these football room chats and stuff I was talking in and I was posting on, I would say that Russell was the best quarterback, I thought, in the draft. I was more impressed by him even than Andrew Luck, although Andrew Luck did impress me. And what gave me that is because John Gruden had this TV show on ESPN called the quarterback camp, QB camp. And what he would do is every year he would interview and go over game film and stuff with the biggest prospects for the quarterbacks for the NFL draft. This went on for years, and then they stopped doing it, of course, when Gruden took the Raiders job. But this was a good indicator for a lot of years. This was a good indicator to tell like which quarterback kind of had a good head on their shoulders, because you got to see them talk. You got to see them in a more comfortable setting with a guy like Gruden. And you got to see Gruden kind of put their football IQ on display. And he would try to trick them and say, hey, do you know this play? What would you do in this coverage? What would you do here? And then he'd ask them personal questions. And when I saw that, I saw Andrew Luck, and I was like, okay, Andrew Luck, that's clear. That's a good pick. Take it. You're good there. That's fine. But when I saw Russell, I was like, this guy seems to have it figured out. And he's very, very humble, very motivated. And he had that Tom Brady motivation, that Jordan motivation, like the way he spoke and the way he carried himself. It wasn't pompous. It wasn't arrogance. It was just this will to want to win and want to be awesome. And that impressed me a lot. And then so I went back, watched this film from Wisconsin. I thought that was good and everything. So I thought that he was a good pick. And again, Andrew Luck, I thought Andrew Luck was going to be the real deal anyway. But Wilson is the one that I pointed out, and nobody was talking about Wilson that much. And he went on to win a Super Bowl and helped the Seahawks quite a bit over the years. Now, we all know the Legion of Boom and all that, but still, he after his rookie year in 2012, I felt good about my pick, because I remember at the end of his game when they lost in the playoffs, and at the end of that, okay, don't eat my lunch for this, but I think they lost to the 49ers. But the point is that after that game, Russell said, after that game, all I wanted to do was get back to the next season. And they're like, Russell, what do you want to achieve? And he goes, I want to win championships. He said, I remember when I was a kid watching Jordan hold up 6 fingers. You guys all know the iconic moment after they beat the Utah Jazz for the second time, and Jordan goes around the court holding up 6. And we all remember that. We all know that famous moment. And when Russell brought that up, I thought, okay, this guy doesn't care about how he wins. If it's defense, he's willing to do whatever it takes to win. And this guy really has a good head on his shoulders. And that really blew me away. That impressed me, just for a rookie to say that. And I thought, that's the Brady mentality. That's the Mamba mentality that Kobe Bryant had. It's really, really good thing for an athlete to do and to say. And the very next year after he said that, they win the Super Bowl, and they completely destroy Peyton Manning's record-breaking Denver Broncos. Well, over the years, as the Legion of Boom started to break up, and we all know that it probably started after Tom Brady defeated them, the Seahawks, in the Super Bowl the following year. That started deteriorating the team and eating them from the inside. And the team started to go into a weird direction where it became less and less about the defense, less and less about sound football, old school football, where you run the ball, you play, you run the clock, you play very methodically down the field, and then Russell would throw the deep ball when he had to, when the moment called for it. By the way, Russell Wilson's deep ball, amazing, perfect. But the team started to gear towards offense and throwing the ball around. And as this happened, Russell hooked up with some singer named Ciara. The last year and a half or so, I've been bringing this up with you guys that I thought something was wrong. Like he was changing. He's not the Russell Wilson that I knew years ago. Or, well, I mean, not that I know him. I mean, Russell Wilson that we would see a few years ago. He started acting different. I would see him on shows and at award shows and stuff, and he was kind of trying to act like a celebrity. And you guys, most of y'all know that I've mentioned this in the past, and we talked about it like, oh, well, something's going on with Russell. And he started becoming more about the celebrity and wanting the money and being the man. Made this big deal in Seattle that he wanted to be the guy, and that was the reason why they weren't getting anywhere, is because they weren't giving Russell the freedom to do what he wanted to do. Well, they got him these great offensive players, still nothing would come of it. He'd start the season really good, he'd look like an MVP candidate, and then it all come crashing down, right? That's been the last few years in a row. So then he gets himself out of Seattle. Okay, fine. Now he's in Denver, and it's not working. It's not working. I don't think his teammates trust him. I think something weird is going on there, and I have a feeling that he might distance himself from them and not be part of the group. You know, part of, like, he kind of has this way about him. Now, there's a video clip I want to show you guys. This is from this morning. Wait, no, it's from yesterday morning, but I just saw it this morning. But this is Kyle Brandt from the NFL Network, okay? So watch what he has to say. Now, again, this was something that we were suspicious of for a while now, but this is a guy who interviews these guys, knows them, gets close to the players, and hears everyone talk. So this has got some good credibility to it. So let me just add this here. You know what? It won't show the audio there, so I'm just going to play it from here. Okay. Yeah, that's the only way I'm going to.
You know what Gilly does?
Okay. So that is that's not good. Okay, because you know that he knows what he's talking about, because he deals with this all the time. So that is, I don't know. I thought we've observed this, okay, and I thought we were doing a good job of seeing this happen. But to hear that from Kyle, who does this for a living, that's what he does, is he interacts with these guys. And like he said, Travis Kelce and Aaron Rodgers, two of the biggest douches in the NFL, will give an interview, but Russell is too good to do. I mean, that's bad. And remember I think the Russell was with that horse face chick, that blonde girl that was like weird looking. That Russell, I think, was a better player, like mentally, a better player mentally. And just, I don't know. Sometimes people can't handle fame, is what Milena said to me earlier. She said sometimes people get caught up in the fame and the money and all that, and getting attention. Ciara gives Russell the kind of attention that you wouldn't get as just a football player, okay? Football players get certain kind of attention, but Ciara brings the Emmy crowd and the Grammy crowd and that type, the Hollywood, all the Hollywood stardom, the Hollywood magazines and things like that. That's the crowd that they would bring in. So it's clearly changed him. It's clearly, done something. It's altered something there. I just don't like it. I don't like what he's become, and like Kyle said, he's the most inauthentic person, and he's trying to be something he's not. It's because Russell's not like that. Okay, he's not that person. He's trying to be. Do you guys remember when they would show like a bunch of boxes of different players talking, and Russell would join and he would try to be all cool and everything and stuff. And I was just like, that's not Russell. Russell's kind of a geek, right? So haven't you guys always thought of Russell kind of like a geek, like kind of a guy who probably, if I went to high school with him, he'd probably be playing Dungeons and Dragons with us, right? Or something, or whatever. Like that's the kind of guy that Russell Wilson came across as, a very authentic person. And now he's trying to be, like Kyle said, the Jay-Z and the Beyonce and all that. And it's just not working. So I think this is a problem. But it's not all the problem. That goes to attitude, okay? That goes to mentality and how you act and how you treat people. That is a problem. Everything you do before you step on the field, what you think and how you are with your teammates and how you lead guys, all that's an everyday thing. That's in the locker room. That is on the practice field. That is in the off season when you got to work out and you get your guys together. They got to trust you. And if they think of you as trying to be this rock star ultimate dude or whatever, it's just lame, okay? And I just don't like it. I don't like what it's become. And so once you push yourself out of it, and I was on his side about saying, if he wants out, okay, fine. You want out of Seattle, that's fine, whatever. But you have to bring it at your new team. And when I heard that he went to Denver, I didn't even like that. I didn't like that fit. I didn't think it worked. But he's there now. They gave him a bunch of money. They gave him $200 million or more. After him not seeing him play, you never saw him play as a Bronco. He didn't even play in the preseason. You never saw him play, and you give him money? You give him that kind of money? Like, what are you doing? It's unbelievable. But it's not easy. It's just not easy for a guy who's had success somewhere, been in that a certain style of offense for a long time. Let me see. I think Dave said a while ago while the video was running. Yeah, Dave Wilhauer. He mentioned this, and it's a good point. Russell was allowed a little more freedom to make things happen when a play broke down. And Russell's great at that. We all know that. We all know that Russell's been very good at that stuff. Denver is more of a step offense, and it's more of a everything is prepared ahead of time. You know what you got to do. There's not a lot of improv, not a lot of room for those kind of things. And Russell, it's not really fitting him. So it's also on the coaching staff. So to make sure that you are applying the right style to that quarterback, and you've got to think of those things too. But again, my problem, if you notice, is not even really the playing specifically. It's that I see that this is coming from a bad place. It's coming from before he ever gets on the field. That's my problem. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be like Tom Brady, okay? He is a freak, okay? When it comes to leadership, there's never been a better. If Tom Brady was born in the 1700s, he would have been one of our generals during the Revolution, right? Okay, so that's what he's born to do. That's just a weird thing that happened. But you got to try. You got to try. And we've seen it not work out for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron has not been a good leader. He is for a long time. And he has players talk bad about him after they leave. A lot of the Seahawks players have talked bad about Russell Wilson, and it's always after he met that Ciara girl. So you've got to be able to take your home life and what you are in private, and you've got to separate that from the professional. Again, Brady married Gisele Bündchen. Okay, she was the most famous supermodel on earth. She was already famous. Tom was already famous, but not Gisele famous. There's two different types of fame there. Tom handled that perfectly. So Tom did go to those stupid galas where they dress up weird. He did all that stuff for Giselle because she has to be at those events. He did those things. That's fine. Enjoyed himself. That's cool, right? He does not carry that into the locker room. He is 45 years old, and there are 22-year-old rookies on the Bucs who worship him, okay, who would do anything to defend him. Russell's not getting that kind of love. Aaron isn't getting that kind of love. And that's the thing. You've got to have that. You've got to have that. And what Kyle said, he said it so well. He's saying, if you're going to get that money and if you're going to try to be that guy, then you better either A, be performing, or if you're not performing on the field, you better be the most awesome teammate ever so these guys love you. And Russell's doing neither. That's a big problem. With Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, not a good teammate, not a great leader, but he was backing it up on the field. He was backing it up by getting MVPs, throwing touchdowns, not necessarily winning. Like he seems to play badly in the playoffs, but he was still getting it done in production. So you can do either one, but really you need to be both. And Russell used to be both. He used to have that production, and then he also had the leadership. So I'm just stunned by how far he's fallen. But they're 2-2. The Broncos are 2-2. Despite all this bad football, you would think that they were 0-4. They're 2-2. Okay. So see if they get it figured out. It's not easy. It's not easy to be a successful player somewhere else for a long time and, win a Super Bowl. He went to 2. They're in the playoffs all the time and all that. And then you come to Denver where Denver is expecting you to be the savior. And that's just not easy to do. I think that when Peyton went to Denver, that gave a lot of quarterbacks the idea that they could just do it too. Like, oh, I can force my way somewhere else and I could do it too. Well, it took Peyton years to get that Super Bowl. It took a long time. And he acclimated to Denver very fast, but that was Peyton bringing that with him. Peyton was the offense. He just did things their way, his way. It wasn't till later when they started changing things, then he finally won at the end there. Then Tom is the next one to do that and have that success. Again, that's a freak occurrence. That's not supposed to happen. Tom didn't have a preseason. They didn't have a preseason due to the China virus. So, yeah, that's not normal to do that. And Russell Wilson thought that he could go to a new team and have no preseason snaps and just immediately just start destroying things. It doesn't work like that. Tom and Peyton are not the examples of that every quarterback should use when it comes to that, because they're not those guys. You got to know, what if you weren't getting it done, at your old team when you push yourself out, you need to be quiet. You need to just work. Stop with the slogans. Stop with all that, and just work on the fundamentals and work on being a good teammate. I have a feeling, I don't think that this is going to last. I don't think that Russell is going to keep playing like garbage. Something's going to change, I think. I still support Russell, and like I said, I'm partial to him, of course. I just wish he'd get a better attitude, better perspective, and this might happen. When they lost, and they dropped a game, so they dropped to Thursday night. That's week 5, so dropped to 2-3. And he said, this is not going to happen. We're going to get better, and I'm going to use this and come back. Now, if he means that, that's going to be awesome. Okay, so we'll see. But I don't think it's over yet. All right, it looks like I missed some things here. Jason never sleeps. The only thing that would have made that game worse is if Herb Dean was refereeing. UFC reference. Okay. Up of Courage says a $5 super chat. He says, how about that Rams hit on a defenseless protester? Okay. So what Up of Courage is referring to is that the idiot that was running around on the field with pink smoke. I don't know what the hell that was. Maybe it was a pink smoke bomb or something. I don't know what he was doing. Running around like a retard. I don't know what he was protesting or whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't run on the field. I thought it was awesome. It's like, what are you doing, dude? You're just trying to get attention. You're ruining everyone's day. It's like, why are you messing up the game and the rhythm of the game? Whatever. That was, yeah, that's just absurd. It's stupid. Also, it's unsafe. Okay, so we've seen a history of people coming from the crowd and then attacking athletes. I think probably one of the most hardcore ones that I could think of right off the top of my head is probably when Monica Seles got stabbed. So a guy just walks up behind her and stabs her. This guy was like a crazy Steffi Graf fan. So this stuff happens. You've got to, look out for that. And a lot of times, you go to a football game and you see the security, they're half asleep. Okay. They're not doing anything. These people are not like professional security people. And you would think with all the money the NFL makes, and I mean, my God, we as taxpayers pay for these stupid stadiums. So they don't even pay for the stadium, right? They make all this money and they don't even have like professional people. These people working security look like they just got done doing a 9 to 5, daily 9 to 5 contest of eating nothing but donuts, right? What are they going to do? They can't catch these guys. They never can. It's always the players end up, hitting them or something else happens. Or it takes like 8 of them to find one guy. It's ridiculous. But they don't do a very good job, and they don't hire anybody. These people they hire are just, a lot of them are, well, you get the point. But yeah, so Alpha Courage, that's how I feel about stupid fans doing that. So Israel, referring to Richard Sherman, and I just want to go back to that real quick. With the Richard Sherman, when he was freaking out there, the thing is, all right, in week 1, Nathaniel Hackett, the head coach, did not let Russell throw the ball. He tried for that kick, and everybody dogged him for it, including me. So he didn't do that this time, and he put it in the hands of Russell Wilson. That wasn't a mistake. It was not a mistake. I would do that every single time. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose going down with giving it to my quarterback that I'm supposed to trust there. Would I have kicked the field goal perhaps? It's possible. I thought that they were going to kick the field goal and they'd probably end in a tie. I hate ties, but I'm talking from a coaching perspective. Maybe you kick the field goal there. You get out of there with a tie. That game was garbage anyway, and you'd be lucky to get out of there with a tie because it's just a travesty of a game, right? But the play call was garbage, actually. I never would have, all you need is 1 yard. 1 yard to get a new set of downs, and then you can do whatever you want. And you get in shotgun formation. I mean, I don't know. It's just strange to me. If you wanted to put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands, why didn't you let Russell do a quarterback sneak or scramble, something like that? I mean, you could have, right? Did Russell miss a wide open guy? Yeah, he did. Okay. And that's the thing about that. It is very difficult to make a pass play into the end zone inside that red area. It's too congested. It's very difficult. It's why so many drives, you see these drives going down the field easily. They're just moving the ball. They get into the red zone, and boom, everything gets blown up, and then they're kicking a field goal. And you're like, what the hell happened here? Because it's very hard to do that. The defense can use the sidelines and the end zone, back end zone area as an extra defender. Now it's easier for the defense to play. They don't have to account for as much. So you've got the best corners. You've got their safeties right there up front, right behind the linebackers, and they only have a certain area they have to cover. It's very difficult to do that. So I thought that was kind of a strange situation when you only needed 1 yard. It's not like it was the last play of the game and there was only 3 seconds left and you had to throw it to the end zone. You didn't need to do that. That was just not necessary. If I was the coach, I would give that to Russell Wilson again in the future. So everyone wants to say, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Okay. But had they run the ball and got stuffed, Richard Sherman and everybody probably, you guys, let's be honest, probably would have said, you gotta let Russell Wilson throw it. Okay. It would have been the exact opposite because now they were freaking out in week 1. Now they're changing everything and saying something different. You always, if you've got a player like that, a quarterback like that, you've got to trust them. You've got to believe in them. You've got to let them do the work. So, and like I said about Belichick with Zappe and with Mac Jones last year in the Bucs game, show your quarterback that you believe in him. Show him that you have confidence in him. And so if you lose, you lose, but you get something positive out of it. So at least now Russell knows, finally, Russell knows that Nathaniel put the ball in his hands, and maybe they can build off that. So. Okay. Salami Pizza, I think, was next. Yep. Salami Pizza celebrating 17 months of membership. He says, man, Matty Ice makes Brady look like Mike Vick. I know. His footwork is bad. His ability to get out of situations and run, awful. I don't know what's going on with Matt, but somehow they come out alive at 2-2-1. Again, it's similar with Denver. It's like you would think the Colts would be 1-4 at this point. They got that one, big victory against the Chiefs. But they seem like a team that should be 1-4. 2-2-1. Matt Ryan's on a new team. So Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan are in the same situation. Matt, of course, coming from Atlanta, getting an MVP, taking the Falcons to the Super Bowl and all that. The Colts are thinking that they finally got their guy. That's not all Matt's fault. Did you guys see how many drops they do per week? Per week? Like, watch a Colts game. It is insane how much the Colts drop passes. It's just unbelievable, man. With Frank Reich, their head coach, they're going to get it together, I think. Watch out for the Colts later in this season. It's a long season. We're only in week 5 right now. Watch. Just watch. I think the Colts will get it together, and I think they'll start playing some good football here in a few more weeks. So I'm not too down on Matt right now. I just see them figuring it out. And again, Matt isn't Peyton. Matt isn't Tom. So this is what happens when mortal quarterbacks transition to teams. This is what's supposed to happen. This is actually normal. But we're so spoiled by what those great ones done that, we watched Montana go from 49ers to the Chiefs, and he takes them to the AFC Championship game in his second year there. We see this over time, and we start expecting every quarterback to do that, and it's just not the case. This is actually how it's the standard. So. Okay, let's see. John Thomas Chavez, I think, is next. There it is. John Thomas Chavez is a $2 super chat and says, the "Let's Ride" thing always seemed artificial. Yeah, it's basically they paid $200 million for a slogan, more or less, right? For so far, but like I said, I think they can't just keep playing this badly. It's just not. I can't see that. I can't picture that. It'll get better. It'll get a lot better. The thing about Thursday night, okay, and the game in general, and Tom mentioned this. Tom said that there's just a lot of bad football right now. Why everybody is 2-2 or whatever. There's a lot of teams that are just very mediocre. Nope, there's no runaway favorite. I know the Eagles are 4-0, but does anyone really, buy into that too much? Not really. I mean, we've got a Giants team that's 3-1, so I don't know. The Dolphins, I knew they were full of crap anyway, but even if Tua didn't get hurt, that was going to come crashing down. So there's a lot of bad football, like Tom says. But the problem with this is self-inflicted. It is the NFL's problem. The NFL keeps trying. They are more worried about being a marketing agency now. They're more worried about, all these causes all the time. I am sick and tired of every time I'm watching a game, they've got to bring up something. They've got to, the other night I was saying, this game's bad enough, and now you want to talk to me about cancer? Like, we all have relatives who are dealing with that right now. I have that, relative dealing with that right now. I don't want to. I mean, you can promote it. You can wear the symbols and have a slogan, whatever. That's fine. But I don't need you to sit there and take time to point out this and talk about it for 10 minutes. I just don't need that. They're so worried about PR and trying to make themselves look good because they've got too many scandals. They covered up the CTE thing. So what'd they do? They started watering down practices. They started watering down the preseason. All these rules make for bad football, bad preparation. Coaches can't coach hard anymore. You can't put pads on them except one day out of the week. How are you supposed to get anything done? How are you supposed to create the game feel to get you ready for Sunday when you can't even practice but one day with full-on pads? It's not easy. It's not easy for coaches to do this, but it's all because they're trying to get good PR, and that's what this is causing. Each year they get softer and softer on the rules of practice. Practice and preseason are important. They matter. Not only do they matter to the continuity and staying in rhythm, not as much if you've got the same core guys together, but the preseason is for your second, third, fourth string guys, rookies, free agents, people coming who just got there. That is for them. It's even for the coaches to get acclimated, to see how their plays work, to see if they change the scheme. All this matters. And now because you have so many restrictions, this spills over into the regular season. And now we're seeing just garbage football, and that's what's happening. Watching a football game and watching all the commercials and all the causes that NFL are doing, they are a marketing machine now. That's really what they seem to be interested in. And the football seems to starting to become secondary. It's starting to become not really the focal point anymore. Did you know that when they were doing the cancer stuff with the pink ribbons and all that, they were charging for that? Do you know that they charge the military for all this salute to service crap that they do? That's money. That they're not doing that out of the goodness of their heart or because like they're good people or they believe in anything. All right? I mean, if it became a fad to murder people, like the movie The Purge, okay? If that became a thing, they would write on the field, let's all murder together. okay? They would put that. They would put whatever it is. They don't care. Whatever it is, whatever the thing that is happening right now, that's what they'll do. And that's what they're caught up in. And they're not focusing on the game, how it's being impacted, and the efficiency of the game. We all love football because of the game. We don't care about all that other stuff, okay? And they're watering it down. And so we're seeing preseason football, what should have been preseason football, and we're seeing it bleed over into the regular season. And it's extending now. Now it's starting to go into week 5 already. It's absurd. These teams aren't ready. They're not ready. They don't even know themselves right now. That's what this is, and that's what Tom's referring to when he says it's bad football. He knows it. Anyone watching knows this. Nefertiti says a $2 super sticker. Thumbs up. Thank you. Yep. He's not the rock star type like Russell Wilson. Yeah, it's not him. Be who you are, Russell. Be who you are. F of Courage is a $2 super sticker. It's a red. It says a red hand pointing up, referring to the comment above. He's corny and now he's trying to be cool. Do I think Russell will become Denver's next Brock Osweiler? Well, no. I mean, Denver didn't give Brock Osweiler any money, did they? It was Houston that did that. Brock, if you're referring to, Brock, you had these expectations for him and then he kind of just sucks. I mean, not really, no. I think this will get worked out. I think, I can't imagine that Russell's going to keep playing like this. Diaburst says Aaron Rodgers publicly bashing his rookies to the media. Yeah, you can't do that. Salami Pizza says 2 and 3. 2 and 3. What did I say? Did I say something else? Milena? Okay. All right. Okay, Satire Junk says the pink smoke is some gender reveal party type crap. Whatever. Again, just trying to get attention. Sharon, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. It's also Von Allen Sports Colors. So. Am I caught up now? Let's see. Thank you, Brad, for subscribing. Of course, you guys know Brad. He was on the show last week for the post game for the Chiefs Bucs, where of course he got to brag a little about his Chiefs winning, and I say you got the upper hand right now, okay, but maybe we'll get a Super Bowl rematch. It's going to come down to that. The AFC is going to be Buffalo and Kansas City. That's what I think. I think they're going to be 1 and 2 seed probably at the end there, and it's going to come down to those two. That Bengals thing last year was an anomaly. It's just they played good football that day. Kansas City wasn't playing very well. At the same time, it was just like everything worked in that direction for Cincinnati. That's not going to happen again. That was a one-off. It's one of those rarity things. But I think it's going to be Buffalo. I know that's an easy pick, whatever. On the NFC side, it's still going to be Tampa Bay. I think it would have been Tampa Bay last year if we all know what happened with the Rams in that game. We all know what happened. But it would have been them last year. It's going to be them this year. It's going to be Tampa Bay against the Cowboys if they they keep Cooper Rush playing. They stick with that. I like what I'm seeing. Normally, I would say Green Bay could do it because they keep being in it every year. I don't like I'm not that impressed with Green Bay right now. It just seems like they may have ran their course. So they'll still make the playoffs, of course, but I just think they'll get beaten. Normally, I'd be high on the 49ers, but when we're talking about getting all the way to the NFC Championship game, the inconsistency at quarterback is the problem. And I really don't trust Kyle Shanahan. I don't trust Kyle Shanahan in the playoffs. He seems to just always do something weird, you know? If they get that together and they start playing better football, then I would start to, get towards the 49ers. They'll be there. They'll be in the playoffs, I think. But I don't see them making the NFC Championship game unless they get that fixed right now. But again, it's so early. And all these teams are kind of, you don't know what's going on really. But all right. Melanie, did you send in another sticker? Nefertiti sends a $5 super sticker. It's a hippo saying hype. Okay. By the way, Austin Thomas was on here last week asking about how to join the membership. So it's tagged at the very top of the chat. It's also in the description of the video. There's a link there to join membership if you'd like to join. Yeah, the Summer and a Patriots fan, the Rams are also done for a bit. Well, the Rams don't have everything on their side like it was last year. Everything going for them. That if you wanna pull up an icon in the chat, you've got to be a member, I think. Yeah. You have to be a member. You have to have a membership. And then when you type it, you just put semicolon or no, colon, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's a membership perk to be able to put those, like the picture of Chris Sims and all that. Yeah. And the twerk. I think actually if we get a few more members, we're due for another icon. So that'd be cool. All right. Yeah, Salami Pizza just posted all of them. Okay. So I don't know if it comes out on y'all's end, but we've been trying to promote the Brady Hate Saga videos a little more because I've got a new one that's coming out regarding the crap going around right now about Tom having good defenses and that's why he wins. Well, I'm completely going to destroy that. So I've been promoting that the older videos, and that's been bringing in some new comments. And the new comments, there's been a huge wave of backlash against Tom again. Like it comes in waves. So there was a while where it kind of calmed down and didn't really have the same momentum as it did before about the Brady hating. Now it's back. It's just it's all over the place. But one thing that a guy pointed out here is he was talking about how the NFL is got changed for Tom's benefit. That's actually not actually accurate. So what I wanted to tell you about is this. So I went back and I did a list of all of the team points for, yards per game, all that, the league averages since 1970. And you can see the progression in the passing game, right? So 1970, it starts 19.3 points for was the average, so the league average that year. It stays at 19, 20, 19, 18, 20, 19, then it goes down to 17. At the end of the 70s, it started to go down a little bit, probably due to a lot of the stuff the Steelers were doing, and then other teams were copying that. Steroids started to run rampant at that time too, so it's probably even more brutal. But they fixed that. They fixed those things. They changed those things and around 79, 80. And you guys even know the quote from Jack Lambert saying they might as well put a skirt on quarterbacks. He said that back then, okay? This was the Joe Montana era, all right? Things started to change. The passing game was opened up. It started to move into the 20s consistently, never dropped back. Did not drop back to the teens until 91. So from 1979 to 1990, it was over 20 points a game. Most of the time it was 21 points or more per game. That was all of the 80s. So just stay with me here. 91 through 93, it dipped down a little bit. But then in 94, it came back. 94 through 2005, 2006, went back to the 1980s points per game. 20, 20.5, 20.7, 21 was the highest it ever got. 21.7 was the highest it ever got, but it stayed consistently. All of Tom's first 3 Super Bowls, all of that was comparable, exactly the same to Joe Montana's era. The same thing. Points for, yards average per game, all of it. Okay. But what happened? What happened in this change? In 2006, the competition committee listened to the Colts whining about coverage, whining about it because they could not beat the Patriots in the playoffs. Okay? So, this was the Peyton Manning change, is what I call it. Why is this attributed to Tom Brady? I have no idea. What does Tom have to do with any of this? He never had anything to do with this. After the change, the Colts won the Super Bowl 2006. They finally got through. They finally made it. And immediately the year after everything kind of started getting implemented league-wide, people started getting the hang of it, it never went back. 22 points, 22, 22.2, 22.8, then to 23. By 2013, it was 23.4. Never seen that before. Kept going up. Now, as of recently as 2020, it was 24.8. We have gone 4.8 points of average since that rule change. Now we're consistently at 22 to 23. What has this got to do with Tom? I'd like to know. And if that's the case, then Joe Montana enjoyed the same points for, yards per game. It was still the same. The passing game was opened up. Like I said, end of the steel curtain era. Towards the end, they started changing things. They didn't like how they were playing football. They didn't like how they were covering the wide receivers, lighting them up, knocking them over. They changed the rules in the late 70s. And that opened up for the 49ers West Coast offense, and everybody started copying that. How is this attributed to Tom? I just don't get it. These people are just, I don't know, they just blindly like write stuff. It's just like, oh, okay, I heard this from somebody. So someone on First Take or something, or Shannon Sharp said this, so it must be true. And then they type it. So it's just moronic. Yeah, Gord King. About 86% of Super Bowl winners have a top 10 defense. Okay, so the new Brady Hates Dog episode that I'm working on right now is about the defense. It's the defense relation to quarterbacks who have won. Because another comment mentioned they on my Joe Montana versus Tom Brady video, who do you the tagline says, who do you take? And he said, I would take Peyton or Dan Marino or Aaron Rodgers over Joe or Tom. And the reason was defense, of course. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to disprove this just by looking up certain stats. A lot of people I've noticed seem to not fully understand how the defenses and the looking at their defensive performances work, and like points against. So the scoring defense, how much they held, how many points they held them to. And then you've got to look at yards. Yards are important because that is about ball placement, where and when these things happen. That's important. Another thing is turnovers. You got to see how many turnovers is your defense giving you? How many chances with the ball is your defense giving you? If you're a quarterback and you're constantly going 3 and out, your defense is not going to look very good. Your defensive stats, the defense is going to start to look worse. So if a quarterback is not going 3 and out all the time, he's effectively helping his defense. So the defense looks better. So what does that mean exactly? That's the quarterback. Why did the defense get so much better between 2019 and 2020? The Bucs didn't change anything. They didn't change anything on defense. They changed the coordinator. It was all the same. Why did it change? Because you replaced Jameis Winston, interception machine, with Tom Brady. And when you make the right decisions as quarterback, when you put the ball in the right spots, you get down the field, you give your defense time to breathe, all of a sudden these things change, and people don't take account of this. Everything works in unison. And then when you get the defense getting you turnovers, that quarterback has to make something happen. Your defense can get you the most turnovers of that season of any team. It doesn't mean that you as a quarterback is automatically going to be able to do something with that. You could keep getting turnovers, and then next thing you know, you're going 3 and out, and you're punting again. So you got to make stuff like that. You got to make it happen. It doesn't just happen on its own. It's not just some kind of magical thing that happens. It's ridiculous, man. So that whole notion about defenses is ridiculous. Another thing, top 10. First of all, what is this top 10 thing? Top 10 defense. Do you guys realize that the difference between, so normally, if you go by each season, you look at the best defenses, normally the number 1 ranked defense is the outlier. They're usually far and away the best. Not every time, but most of the time, their points against and their yards against are significantly lower than number 2 or number 3 or 4, right? Then you'll see that 2, 3, and 4 are comparable to 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Sometimes even 11, 12, 13. So with this logic, if you're giving up 19 points per game and you're 10th, let's say, but you're giving up 19.1 points per game and you're 11th, what's the difference? What's the difference? Okay, so in these guys' minds, they're 11th, so they suck. They're 10th, 19 is 10th. Oh, they're good. They're awesome, right? Come on, really? No. You've got to look at everything. You can't just look at one stat. You've got to see how this is all comes together. These things are important. You also Most important is looking how that defense performed in the playoffs. Okay? You can say that the Patriots defense was pretty good in 2017 by looking at the yearly stats. Did anybody see a good Patriots defense against the Eagles? Where was that exactly? So, I mean, it's supposed to be awesome, right? They're supposed to be always so good. Where were they? I don't remember them showing up. I remember Nick Foles burning their butts. So, you got to look at that too. Regular season's regular season. A lot of times, teams will start out hot the first 8 games of the year, and then they'll kind of cool off towards the end. But overall, their ranking still looks good because of what happened in the first half of the season. But what happened in the first half of the season is irrelevant now. It doesn't matter anymore. It has no bearing on anything. What you did in week 1 through 6 or whatever has no bearing on week 13 and 14, 15. And as you're getting ready to go into the playoffs, those don't have any correlation. And whereas where you are as a defense. Perfect example, New York Giants. Okay? So New York Giants, we all know the story. They go in, I think 9-7. They're a team that everyone thought were just going to get destroyed in the wild card round. And their defense gets it figured out. Just like that. Patriots, Tom Brady's Patriots puts up over 30 points on them in week 17. So it looked like they were just garbage. They go, I think it's Tampa Bay in the playoff game in the 2007 season. And all of a sudden their defense figured it out. You've got to account for that. That matters. So all the bad defense that they had in the regular season no longer matters. But with these type of people, look in the history books, they'll say, their defense was this, and this. Oh, really? Okay, but did it matter? So you also have to, it's complicated. It's complicated, but if you really want to do a good job, you have to really look at this stuff. And this is not just me talking about random commenters either, by the way. They get this stuff from people who are getting paid a lot of money to say this on television. That's where they're getting it. That's where they're hearing it. They're not going around looking up this stuff on their own. They're just regurgitating whatever they heard from somebody else on TV. So, to me, the first half of the season is just whatever it is. Okay? It's just I know it's cliche, but the season that they say is a marathon. It's how you end up. It's where you end up. It's how good you are at the very end. It's always going to be like that. A lot of teams, they peak too early. And the reason, a lot of times they peaked early because maybe other teams the rest of the league wasn't getting acclimated to that. That generally is what happens. So, I mean, how many of the Patriots Super Bowl runs, or even just getting to the Super Bowl, did they start out kind of garbage, like what the hell are they doing? And then all of a sudden they just boom, it's just crazy. So, all right. Let's see. Did I miss some?
Yeah. You missed my laughter.
Huh? Who is this goofball who calls quarterbacks by their first name like he knows them personally? Well, I do. In fact, Aaron was my boyfriend in high school, and Tom is my cousin, and Patrick, he's my third cousin, but by marriage. So
Who says that?
I don't know, some
I
anonymous
missed
account, but it's funny.
that.
When you talk for hours, it gets annoying over time. Just keep calling them by the same last name over and over. But
What's he from?
where is it? Let's see. There it is. Nefertiti. Okay. $5 super sticker for Nefertiti is a little hippo doing something. Thank you. All right. Dave, there's Dave. Dave Wilhauer sends a $2 super chat and says the Colts are the team that cried about defensive backs at the line. Exactly. They're the ones that got the rule change for coverage. And if you could bump them and how much you could do at the line before the ball snapped. Or, I mean, as soon as the ball is snapped. Have you guys noticed that no one mentions this? Like all people who hate Brady, all of them mention this? Or if you're a Patriots hater, you don't ever bring that up. They call that the hitting at the quarterback at the knees. They call that the Brady rule. Actually, it started with Carson Palmer, and they were already wanting to change that up because what happened to Carson Palmer? It's called, actually what it's really called, not the Brady rule. It's called the no one watches when a bunch of crappy quarterbacks are in the playoffs rule. That's what it should be called. And I think I proved that in one of the Brady Hit episodes where I showed you guys the ratings, where it was none of the star quarterbacks were in the playoffs and the ratings just plummeted. So. Yep. James Johnson sends a $2 super chat and says it's not how you start, but how you finish. Exactly. It's that case for everything. Yeah, random Patriots fan. Yeah, I stole Chris Sims' man, apparently. Well, no, just Chris. I know him personally, too. Yep. It's nice. When I go out now, I don't, I can use a cane instead of the stupid crutches. So things are improving as far as the hip. Trust me, it's much better. You know. Yeah, well, see, the PSI, the thing, a PSI in a football, that is a quarterback preference. And some guys like it at the low end, some guys like it at the higher end. It just depends on what grip the type of grip you're comfortable with, how you like to throw the ball, all those things. Those are personal preferences. They have nothing to do with anything. With Deflategate, that was just nonsense. I mean, there are so many instances. You guys wouldn't believe how many instances throughout history where quarterbacks complain about the ball, and then they change it. What they used to do to the balls all the time, they used to like just do kind of crazy stuff to them, and they would just do whatever they could get away with, and the refs didn't care. It didn't become a problem until they wanted to stop the Patriots dynasty from winning. They didn't want a new one. They didn't want a revival of a Patriots dominance again. They tried to stop it, and it didn't work. Because funnily enough, as it comes to find out, when you air the ball higher than what Tom Brady's comfort level is, he played better. He's been a better player since Deflategate than he was before. So there goes that, right? Exactly. In 2017, the playoffs, who did we have in that playoff? And the final four, the four championship games was Blake Bortles versus Tom Brady. On the NFC side, we had, of course, let's see, what's that guy's name from the Vikings? He was on the Vikings at the time. He's like a journeyman backup now. He actually had a pretty good, what's his name? God, Case. Case. See, his first name's Case. He's, again, another personal friend of mine. Case Keenum versus Nick Foles. And I put up the ratings for that. and showed you guys how the ratings just completely plummeted. And even though Tom of the four was the hatred for Tom, people and stuff, you know, a lot of them probably didn't even want to tune in unless they wanted to see him lose. So, okay, I gotta point out something to you guys. So on our Facebook, the VAS Facebook group, a lot of people post memes and things and interesting articles from around the internet. I think it was Israel who posted this, but maybe not. It was regarding there's some witches, okay? So some women who are into witchcraft, okay? And they get on TikTok and they're talking about Tom and Giselle. It's kind of weird. But they're saying how Giselle over the years is the reason why Tom isn't hurt or injured, or why hasn't he retired, and why is he able to still do what he does over a long period of time. Now, normally, this is just one random person saying stupid crap, right? I looked into it, and there are over 100. Okay, there are 100 of these women saying this. And they've got this all figured out, right? Apparently. So they're saying things like Tom, so Giselle casts spells apparently as a protection bubble for Tom. And that's the reason he got hurt. Now, the only thing that I'm wondering is what happened, because he met her at the end of 06. They were already dating all through 07, all through 08, up until the week 1 of 08. Tom gets his ACL and MCL completely destroyed. I'm just wondering where that protection spell was on that moment. You know why they don't know that? Because they didn't look into it. They don't know. They're just talking crap. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I told you guys last week that Brady hate is going to step up to a new level. It's going to bleed over into regular, everyday people who don't even watch football. And here we are. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't see this coming, okay? I didn't see witches of TikTok all of a sudden becoming a thing. I know, it's stupid. I didn't anticipate this, okay? But there it is, okay? And they were dead serious about this. I watched several of them. I thought it would make a great Basement Butthurt episode. I thought that would be a really fun to do. So she didn't protect them from Bernard Pollard. Yeah, exactly, Dave. What happened in 2017 when he got his entire hand through here slashed open on his throwing hand, and he had to play against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the AFC Championship game? Wherever she bought that protection spell kit, she probably needs to get a refund. So that's just not, that doesn't work, you know? And again, I'm not taking a shot at Giselle. I'm taking a shot at these people's logic and stuff. From what I've heard, Giselle is into spirituality. She's not a witch or something like that, but she does believe in like power of positive thinking. So she'll light a candle or, you know, something like that. That's no big deal. I mean, we even do that in Christian religion. You light a candle for someone or whatever. That's not a big deal. But they took that and ran with it, and all of a sudden created this whole weird thing, you know. Do you guys remember when Tom, before Super Bowl 42, 2 weeks, you know, the 2 week time period before that, Tom had hurt his ankle, I think, ankle or foot. And they showed him in New York walking to Giselle's apartment and giving her flowers. He was in a walking boot before that Super Bowl. Do you guys remember that? The protection spell didn't work then either. So But I told you guys that the Brady hate would bleed over into mainstream places of people that don't even know football. I just never knew that this, you know, it would do that. I just never thought of this. Just when you think you've seen it all or heard it all, you get something like that. So Gord King says $2 super chat says witches want to sacrifice a goat? Absolutely they do. They get extra points for that. Dave Willhauer says a $2 super chat. He says that's funny. She didn't protect him from Pollard. Yeah, exactly. That's the ACL MCL injury that he had, and they'd been together for a while. So I don't know that she's casting spells. I don't know, like, I don't know the extent of that, but there's a lot of like you know power of positive thinking things and stuff like that. That's not a witch is generally what's referred to as a Wiccan, someone who worships the earth, and that's an actual specific religion. I don't know if she's of that. I know that Tom grew up Catholic, so Tom's family is Catholic, and I've seen him talk about Giselle's stuff that she does, and he says it almost in a joking way, like he kind of thinks that it's kind of strange or goofy, but he says it like like you would talk about your kid, making something for you or whatever. Like it's just kind of like that in a weird way, but yeah. Nefertiti, you sent a $2 super sticker that says spoiler alert.
Yeah. TikTok witchcraft.
TikTok witchcraft, yeah.
TikTok witches unite.
Damn, some random Patriots fan. You need to learn some manners sometimes, honestly. Well, there's ways to test for witches. Gord King knows what I'm talking about. You you guys ever seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail? So there's a science to it. And if the witch sinks, she's not a witch. If she floats, she's a witch. Either way, they die. The more you know. Yes, if they weigh the same as a duck, because a duck can float, they're made of wood, exactly. So, nope, it wasn't Bridget. It was Giselle. He was in New York, and he went to her New York apartment, and she opened the door and gave him a hug. They had already been dating uh, at that point for a while, like nearly a year. If the witch burns, it's a witch. So, Donnie, what's up, man? Okay, but anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting that that's a thing now. Again, unanticipated. Speaking of that, I found some pretty funny memes. When I see something, I just kind of like put it aside and show you guys. Um, some of these are kind of old. Well, this one I've not seen, but this is kind of funny actually. I like that one. This is an oldie but a goodie right here. So, in 2040, Tom looks the same. Patrick looks like an old man. We'll see. And this is kind of, I think this was from a while back, but it's still, I still like that one too. And true. It's true. It's true. We all know it's true. All right. Let's look at these games. So again, so Giants Packers, that's going to be played in London. So no one's going to, you know, see this except for people in Europe. So the Red Coat and Nightwalker and Dinnerline and guys like that are going to be able to watch this. London, okay, so when you go out of the country like that, it's very similar to playing on like a Thursday night, playing having a short week. Very similar. It's a long trip. It's a neutral site. Teams generally just don't play the way you anticipate them to play. I think honestly, this is anyone's game. I think I would not want to put anything on this game. I would not rely on that one. But I think it could be interesting if the Giants can just, be more consistent. But I just can't picture New York winning that. I can't. So I'm probably going to go with Green Bay on that one. Steelers and Bills. If Ben was still quarterback of the Steelers, I would like this game a lot more. The Bills are going to annihilate Pittsburgh. This is it. That's over before it started. Okay. Chargers at Browns. I like this game. This could be a fun game. Of course, we all root for Addy and his Browns, but they're not going to get the win here. The Chargers are going to take this one. Texans at Jaguars. Can the Houston Texans just kind of leave the league? Can we trade them? Can we make a deal? Trade them for the Alabama Crimson Tide or somebody? Or a CFL team? Or the Iowa Barnstormers. We'll trade them for that. This Texas organization is just, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I know it's a divisional game, but Jacksonville, they seem to be really starting to figure out what they're going to be, and I like Jacksonville for this one. Bears at Vikings. When I see the Bears, I just fall asleep. So I ain't got nothing against them. They play boring games, dude. Vikings are unpredictable. They're always unpredictable. Vikings. I'm going Vikings on that. All right. Lions at Patriots. Here we go. The Lions offense I like them a lot, but their defense is freaking absolute garbage. I mean, they are atrocious. And the New England Patriots have Zappe starting. Brian Hoyer's still got a concussion. He's still in concussion protocol. Mac Jones better not be trying to play. Of course, I don't think he's going to, or that's even in the cards. I would be shocked. But so this is going to be Zappe. He's had all week to prepare for this. It's a terrible defense. This is a team that Matt Patricia was coaching, so which he's now the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, or de facto offensive coordinator, even though there's not one with a title, whatever. So whatever Bill is doing with that. But this is a New England Patriots game right here. If they're going to win one, and they have an advantage, they've got it. This is the one right here. I think the defense can hold off somewhat the Lions. Offense, pretty good though. In fact, I think they're number one right now. And their defense is dead last, so they're like a complete opposite. But I think New England will be fine in that one. Yeah. This is a chance for Zappe to show something. He kind of come out of nowhere, right? I mean, nobody was expecting anything of him. I mean, nobody really expected anything of you when they play clipboard torque Brian Hoyer over you, right? So, but yeah, this is a win. This is a win for New England then. So, Seattle at Seahawks at the Saints. Saints, what the hell are they doing? They've got to win this one, so I think they know that. I'm going Saints. Dolphins at Jets. You ready for this? I'm going with the Jets. I am. I'm going with the Jets. Seriously, this is it. The New York Jets are going to defeat the Dolphins tomorrow. Okay? You guys ready for that? All right. Falcons at Buccaneers. The Falcons are Tom's, best record against. So he is undefeated against them. I think it's 10-0 against the Atlanta Falcons as of right now. That includes even his time as a Patriot, so including the Super Bowl. Are the Falcons finally going to get that one in the win column against Tom Brady? No, they're not. No. This is going to be a beatdown. If this is not a beatdown, okay? If this is not a beatdown, that is a problem. That's a problem. There's something wrong with that. So they better play well. Tampa Bay has not had offense and defense play good at the same time. It's not happened. Okay? It's not happened. If they're going to get that together, it's got to be now. Tom has not lost 3 games in a row since 2002. That was that infamous year where they won the Super Bowl in 2001, didn't make the playoffs in 2002, and then comes back and they win the Super Bowl in 2003 and in 2004. So it's been a long time. This team is not that kind of team, that 2002 Patriots. This team should be winning. They should be winning a lot more, actually. So, yeah. If something's not done here, then maybe we can start to okay, what's going on? But I think the Bucs are going to take this one pretty easy, and they got to win at home. They've not won at home yet. Can you believe that? I know their 2 home games were, relatively difficult matchups, but Titans at Commanders, the DC Criminals, DC Lizard People, whatever you want to call them. Titans got that easily. That's going to be a walkover. So, is anyone going to watch that game? 49ers at Panthers. Again, this is all about the 49ers getting consistent play at the quarterback position. This is a West Coast team going to the East Coast. That sometimes factors in. I don't think it's going to matter enough for the Panthers to beat them. San Francisco's got that, I think. Eagles, Cardinals. If Eagles are going to drop one, this could be one of those games, one of those weird games where that happens. I'm still not sold on the Eagles. I told you guys last week, if the Eagles go 5-0, then I will, start to kind of come around a little bit, start to give them more props. But I don't trust this team yet. I'm not that impressed by who they played, what they've done. I think this is ironically, they're playing the Cardinals. I think they're like last year's Cardinals, where they started out with everything going their way. It's not going to last. The Cardinals, if this is going to be the one they lose, this Cardinals team could be the one that upsets them and changes that. I'm going Arizona over Philadelphia. Cowboys, Rams. Keep playing Cooper. You're fine. The Cowboys players seem to trust Cooper, and I'm not talking bad about Dak. Exactly. That's not, I like Dak, and you guys know that, and I've always kind of had shown a little bit of favor towards him at times. And that was really only because I liked kind of how he handled himself and it seemed to like screw up a lot in big moments. But that lately has not been the case. But this Cowboys team seems to be putting it together like that. The Rams are what it should have been last year. Okay. So kind of just just there. Like the Rams are going to end up like a 10-7 team probably. I like Dallas for that one, even though it's a road game. It's not like the Rams have a home game anyway. It's a bunch of celebrities who go to the game so they can be photographed. So they don't even have a real fan base. Sunday night's game, I like this one. Bengals, Ravens. So can the Ravens close out a game? I don't know. If it comes down to the end of it, I wouldn't trust them. But I do like them to win this one. So I'm going Baltimore on Sunday night. Monday night, Raiders, Chiefs. The Raiders, man. I don't trust them for anything right now. So I need to see more out of them. To pick them over the Chiefs, yeah, that's not happening. Especially in Kansas City, no. On Monday night, no. Not going to happen. So that's easy. Chiefs over Raiders. All right. I mean, I want you to think about this. If the Patriots lose to the Lions, they drop to 1-4. You guys are not going to be, well, actually, you might be happy with the reaction to that. If the Patriots lose to this Lions team and they drop to 1-4, I mean, you thought this recent Hurricane Ian was bad. I mean, it's just no, it can't happen. It won't happen. It just won't. It can't. It cannot happen. It can't happen. So, no. Although the Patriots, they got back in North Dakota Pizza Man apparently, so that's exciting. Although good for him. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else I need to cover? Is there anything you guys want me to bring up or mention? Yeah, Alpha Courage. Because it's not just losing to the Lions. That's bad. Okay. No one wants to do that. But you lost to the Lions after you have the guy on your coaching staff was their coach, kind of knows a lot of the players and stuff. That should give you a little bit of an advantage. And but it's the dropping to 1-4. It's the dropping to 1-4 that really would completely just, oh my God, I can't. No. It's not going to happen. It just can't. It can't. That's all I have to say. It can't happen. Yes, thank you, Alpha Courage. Please, if you're new here, like and subscribe and click the bell icon, the solid solid white. Otherwise, it won't tell you. It'll just like pick and choose every once in a while when it will tell you if they do it all. So, and like I said, I'm working on some things, working on a new Brady hate saga episode because new hate is coming in. Now they're changing things. Every time we think that we've got them and it's over and it's done and it's finished, they come up with something new. Now it's something about defense. It's just nonsense. Lucky. Now that they're bringing back the lucky thing again. Okay, whatever. I mean, we could say this. We could do this all day with every. Although I already did a basement butthurt on. I mean, a Brady hate saga on the luck factor. I've already done that. But all right, thank you guys so much. So hopefully we'll have a good day of football tomorrow and Monday night. I will see you guys here on Tuesday night, and that will be the reaction show to everything that happened tomorrow and Monday. Unless the Raiders somehow beat the Chiefs, and then I'm going to probably go online immediately just so I can troll Brad Gold. Okay? That would be fun. And then I'd have to bring on my friend Z, who's a Raiders fan, and he can troll his friend Brad Gold. So if that happens, I might consider that. But other than that, expect me Tuesday night for the reaction show. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. Y'all are awesome. All right? I really, really, really appreciate you guys. Good night.
Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to Von Allen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go.
Von Allen Sports.